What's going on? Today, I'm going to walk you through step by step how to make a high converting application funnel. This process and this system is, what helps me build a business up to, 60, 70, 80K a month. I'm going to show it to you so that you can see, how it works as well. The other thing is that I want you to keep in mind is that the funnel isn't going to do all of the work for you. At the end of the day, you still need to be good at writing copy. There's a couple of little caveats that I'm going to give you, because we're going to build the whole thing using Claude. But yeah, like I said, there's a couple of caveats, right? A few of the big caveats is that you have to train your project. So rule number one is you want to work within projects. The reason why you want to do that is because you can give it way more context. And the coolest thing you can do with Claude projects is that you can take books that you own. So if you own an EPUB, they'd even be worth buying specifically for this purpose. But you can take an EPUB file that is a book, and then you can upload that directly into Claude's project sources, I believe it's called. Let me double check what it's called, but project files, that's what it's called. So you can upload directly into Claude project files. And you can give it books, and you can tell it that, in the project instructions, you can tell it, hey, I want you to reference these books when we're doing this. I want you to reference these books when we're doing this. So my Claude project has a very good understanding of a few things. It has a few copywriting books, a few sales books, a few marketing books. It even has, examples of copy that I've handwritten myself. So it has all of these things, so it's going to produce a much better result. That doesn't mean you don't have to still go in and tweak certain things, like taking M dashes out and just taking away the usual stuff that makes things sound like AI slop instead of a human. All copy should be reviewed by a human being and take out, and you should start taking those things out. But anyways, I don't want to digress so far. We'll get into it now, and then you'll basically see how to build it. But all that stuff is definitely important in terms of just making sure you produce an actual good result. On top of the fact that you still need the marketing aspects as well in terms of how to actually get people to the landing page in the first place. But this is going to be especially helpful for you if you have a smaller following, or, even in general, if you want to just do high ticket stuff. That's what I'm going to walk you through. But you can use essentially this process no matter what. But this process works in terms of just making a landing page. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, so we're starting off. I'm going to pretend that I'm going to be making a landing page for myself, selling, back-end marketing services. The way that you get the best result possible is by having more of a back and forth relationship with Claude. And one of the best things you can possibly do, because typing out your thoughts, I feel like is never as good in terms of talking them out. Now, I don't like talking using voice mode in Claude because then it tries to talk back instead of typing. So the trick is to go on ChatGPT, and then you speak into that, and then you copy and paste the result that you get into Claude. So check this out. I want to make a landing page specifically for my services as a back-end marketer. I think I want to more so focus it on building funnels, email marketing, and ads. So nothing more than those three things, but I want it to be a very, professional looking landing page. I want the top to be a headline, a very powerful, longer style headline. And then it'll be the VSL. I'll give you the Wistia link later, so just put a placeholder for now. And then a button that's going to link to Typeform, and I'll give you the link to that later so that you can make it act as a pop-up. And then from there, I'll a grid of a few photos and like some copy that basically shows like, hey, here are people that I've worked with. And then I'll give you the links to put for those photos as well. So, just put some placeholders there for me as well. But it's just going to be kind of like some photos of maybe like some Stripe screenshots, ClickFunnels screenshots showing like different examples of landing pages that I've worked on, and showing screenshots of like ad funnels and high rows and things like that. So it'll be things like that, but I want kind of like maybe a like desktop wise, maybe a 4x4 grid, and then on mobile it'll be 2x2. And just a few screenshots with some copy in regards to, you know, every single result that is attached, which you'll see later. And then after that, I want a very detailed kind of stack in regards to all the services that are going to be offered. I want you to help me kind of flesh that out, because I gave you sort of like the 30,000 foot view as far as like everything it is that we'll be doing, but I want you to get into like more so the granularity of it, so the person hitting this landing page can see all of those things that I would be doing for them, you know, like in regards to the copywriting, you know, making things look professional, you know, regular email marketing stuff, like just basically like really sell the deliverables of what it is that they're going to be getting. So that'll be that section. And then after that, I would like, you know, a frequently asked questions section. And then that's kind of it. You can kind of fill in the blanks anywhere, or feel free to even ask questions as far as like maybe some things that you would like to know. And then we can take it from there. So there we go. I just spoke the prompt. And here we go. We're going to Command A, Command C, and then bring this over here. And that's how I get way better results out of Claude. Is just having this back and forth and making sure I'm talking to it instead of typing stuff out. I almost never type stuff out. Who's the primary audience? I would say course creators and info product businesses. I like that Claude started doing this, by the way. Let's see. What's the positioning angle? I mean, that's more accurate. No, application discovery call only. Cool. And keep in mind, it knows to ask some of these questions based off of previous conversations that I've had with it, as well as the fact that it has access to a lot of the books that I've uploaded into Claude as well that it can reference. So now it's just going to go through and it's going to build a landing page using HTML, and I'll show you how to paste that over. But if we look, oh, it's not going to show. There it goes. So there you go. So once this is done, you know, we'll pop back in and you'll be able to see the first draft. All right, and here we go. This is the first draft. Yeah, Miguel Johnson, apply for a spot. It kind of copied some things from different stuff. But yeah, look at this. Look, funnel, the 3 things we do done right, you know, funnel architecture. I like the gold and black and white. Definitely like that. In the front end, I'll run the back end. Things people ask before they apply. Who's this actually for? Yeah, and then here's how we'll start, you know, making it even better. Funnels, write the emails, and run the ads to turn your audience into buyers. Okay, so here's how we start making it even better. The way I'll do it is I'll start listing things that are wrong by copying and pasting it. And I'll kind of go one by one so it doesn't get confused. So here, we'll just go like this. So I need you to move the VSL above the button. So it should be headline, subheadline, VSL, and then button for them to apply. And make sure that the button is above the fold, right? So like try to compact things or maybe increase the how far out the headline can be. So that way the VSL and the button can sit up higher on the page. Here we go. And then I check that, copy and paste that over. So I'll go one by one, you know, as far as like making adjustments, because like Claude will get confused if you try to give it way too many instructions at once. So that's how I will go in and edit things. Let's see. Yeah. So even like here, like I feel like it still didn't kind of like condense things and stretch it out. So this is a scenario where maybe I'll just like take a screenshot of it and then just go like, yo, like here, I want you to see what I'm doing with this screenshot. I'll like draw on it so it sees, and then again talk to it. So I took a screenshot and drew some green lines so that you could see like how much further out, like how much space you have to work with on this page. Spread the headline out so that it's not so condensed in the middle. Like even the video has more space to work with. Like get rid of the the constraints or like whatever sort of container you have it in so that it can stretch out. Paste that and then add photos, and then we go desktop, boom. We add that screenshot, and there you go. Now it goes through and tries to fix that for me. Well, I didn't want the VSL stretched out. So that's a scenario where I'll text. That's a simple request for me to go in and fix. You see how this thing be getting confused, man? You definitely need some patience, and you got to be able to go back and forth with it. And then just give it a minute to refresh. Okay, I'll accept this for now. So I'm gonna also have it decrease the headline font size because it's so damn big, isn't it? So we want that decreased. Yeah, I'd say moderate. I'm glad it asked that. Because I want it to still be like big and impactful, like so they know that's the main headline. But like it's just taking up too much real estate on the page. There we go. That feels better, but man, is it possible? So it seems like it's still like stuck inside of a container. Like it won't stretch out, or maybe that's because it's 3 separate lines. Oh, I just realized why it won't stretch out further. Because there's just not enough text for it to stretch out. Duh. So, okay. So that's cool. The other thing, I wanted to get rid of that banner at the top. I want you to get rid of the banner at the top with my name and the apply for a spot. And instead of apply for a spot, make it just say book a call. Oh, whoops. I accidentally pasted that inside of ChatGPT. Sometimes I do that. Cool. It got rid of the... okay, good. It knew to fix this part too. Yeah, I don't know why I'm texting. Is it possible to move everything up a little bit? Because there's still tons of space between the top of the page and when the actual text finally starts, as though there's still a banner at the top. That's the cool thing if you didn't know. You can tab away from ChatGPT whenever you want and still communicate with it. It reduced it a little bit. Not a lot, but I'm not mad about it. Okay, let's see. So this part should all be centered, right? Like it looks weird, like off to the side like that. So I'm gonna make it center it. There we go. Beautiful. And like I'm not gonna work on copy because that's its own thing. But I would definitely go in here. I'd be adjusting the hell out of this copy because it just doesn't look right. This too should be centered. This looks good off to the side, but I think it would look better if it was more imagery based, don't you think? Instead of it just being copy. Like if there was some sort of like visual. That looks good when it's like that, huh? When it's stretched out, it looks kind of weird. But like that, it looks good. Okay, so now for the section that basically shows the 3 things that I do for people: the funnel architecture, email marketing, and paid advertising. It looks good, but there should be more of like a visual cue, because right now it's basically just like pure text and it looks nice, but it could be better if it had more of a visual cue that people were able to look at, like instead of it just being pure copy. The other thing that should be mentioned is the fact that like I am an expert when it comes to Zapier and setting up like those back-end systems and stuff like that a lot of people struggle with, so that should be talked about as well. That would probably go into like funnel architecture, stuff like that, like setting up automations, mini chat, stuff like that. Because like a funnel isn't just a landing page, it's everything. And there we go. Now it's going to go through and try to make this like more visually appealing instead of it just being text. And yeah, that's what it'll always default to, SVG icons. If you want to use your own images, like if you want to take it to that level of just like making things look even nicer, that's when you start needing like Claude code and different like design skills built into it. Or the other thing you can do is create images on Nano Banana or something like that, or hire someone to make images for you. And then you basically just upload that into whatever. Basically, you just need a place for it to reference those images. I make stuff on ClickFunnels, so I'll just give it the link to ClickFunnels, and then it'll do that for me, if that makes sense. So yeah, like ClickFunnels, it'll give you a unique link, and then you just say like, hey, here is this image, and then it'll reference that. Okay, cool. There we go. It's refreshing. Funnel. It's a little cooler. I mean, it put this random little image there. But like, man, can we do better? It's like, okay. So you put like a cute little SVG icon, but I want you to think more of like a graphic designer in the sense of like how I want you to make this look very appealing. Like I love all the copy, but I feel like it would look so much cooler if it had more of a design element to it. Like maybe you need to prompt yourself, like give me like a prompt that you would think of that can make this look cooler. Because right now, I mean, yeah, the icon, like I said, it's cool. Like I like the funnel icon, I like the email icon, I like the whatever the heck that is, the little circle for paid advertising with the little thing going up. But it could look cooler if it was more design forward instead of copy forward. This, I would say, this is the part where Claude doesn't really excel in terms of being able to look things, have things look cool. In order for me to get things looking the best, I've always kind of had to find examples for it to have reference. For like, oh, it should look like this. Oh, okay. And then it's able to do it. Or I just have to have something specific in mind. But sometimes you don't always have an idea. That's the whole point of using AI, is that you want it to help like pick up the slack for what you might not be thinking of. I didn't ask it to make it with a black background. But whatever. We'll see how it does. It does not. No, it doesn't know what I mean. Yeah, so this is the part where it doesn't get, it's not quite as good as it could possibly be, because it doesn't really know what it is that I mean. It doesn't look awful. I mean, like seeing like the little one in the background. I mean, yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world, but I was preferring something more like, yeah, graphic design heavy. But it doesn't look like it knows how to do that. Something I'll do is like that. Like this copy needs to be bigger, right? It's so freaking tiny. So we'll have it make the copy for all of those bigger. The font bigger, I should say. That looks better. Pretty sure I spelled legible incorrectly, but I wanted to make the copy for everything better. So it just looks nicer. Also, part of me wants to put it in like little cards or something. So it looks better. I'm wondering if whether or not maybe like every single bullet should have like its own card or something like that, and like each one should have its own visual element, or if that would just kind of get too busy on the page. That sounds like it could be a good idea if something like that existed. But visually, I don't know if it would look as nice as possible. Nah, I don't want it to do that. And then next, okay. Now, for the frequently asked questions section, I need you to center the headline for that as well. And I want it to be more so like openable, interactive parts where like they see the question, they have to click on it to get the answer to like basically drop down. That'll always look better. And that's it. I also, well, actually take the back. I also need a footer that says, you know, all the usual legal stuff that like, hey, we don't believe in get rich quick schemes. You know, we are not affiliated with Facebook and Meta, all that usual stuff that goes on the bottom of pages. Okay. Now let's see the improvements. Boom. It made that adjustment. So now they can open these up. It centered this. And then the usual legal jargon at the very bottom. Beautiful. And then there you go. Full landing page built. I would obviously go in there if there were any sort of other testimonials I wanted to add. You know, I would do stuff like that, putting images, things like that. But yeah, man, I mean, Beautiful funnel. You really don't need much other than that. And then as far as actually putting this somewhere like on ClickFunnels, I'll just delete that. Switch the setting on this so it's full page. Take the padding off. And then same thing with this. Take the padding off of here. And then add an HTML element. I don't know if I grabbed it or not, but copy and then paste it in here. Save. I'm just putting anything there for now. And then preview. And there you go. Now, the way that you can actually get this to cover the whole screen, I mean, you could do one of two things. You can either just, you know, figure out whatever color code this is for the background, and then just make that the background, and then that way it'll look nice. You see, like, this is pretty solid. You know, button is above the fold. I would also look at this on mobile to make sure it's optimized for that, and if it wasn't, I would let it know what stuff doesn't look good on mobile and just be like, hey, it looks like this, fix it, and it'll do its thing. All this is here. Good, 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 good. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, all of it looks awesome. And then you would obviously need to be like, hey, here's the embed for the Wistia video. Put that in there for me. Hey, here's the embed and the link for the type form or whatever application you use. Make that trigger, because yeah, see, it doesn't do anything quite yet. And yeah, that's pretty much it, man. That's how you make a fucking fire-ass funnel. And you just go and do a thing, and then AI did all of it. Keep in mind, you got to be able to go in here and make good copy, or teach your Claude how to make good copy. And yeah, and then the other thing you can do, which I mentioned in the video from yesterday, is that you have to ask Claude how to do it, but you can go in and essentially go on Cloudflare and host it on there, and then just put an iframe, and then it'll expand the entire site across the whole page instead of putting it inside of this little block like this. But even inside the block, it looks pretty nice. Then if I were to make the same color as this background, it would look even nicer. You wouldn't even notice it. Yeah, so that's how you make it. Hopefully that was super helpful. If you have any questions or any, requests for videos that you would like to see, just let me know in the comments.